Trump's tariff gamble, when politics overtakes trade logic. When Donald Trump announced a 10% hike in tariffs on Canadian goods, it wasn't just another chapter in the ongoing U.S. Canada trade saga. It was a bold political statement dressed in the language of economics. The move came immediately after a controversial Ontario government advertisement aired during the World Series, featuring former U.S. President Ronald Reagan's warning about the dangers of trade wars. What might seem like a minor media skirmish quickly escalated into a symbol of strained cross-border relations. The power of symbolism. Trump's reaction reveals a deep sensitivity to image and messaging, a hallmark of his political style. To him, the Canadian ad wasn't merely an economic critique, it was a challenge to American authority, and by extension, to his own nationalist trade philosophy. The Reagan clip reminded Americans that tariffs can hurt jobs and industries, an argument that cuts straight through Trump's America First narrative. In response, Trump's 10% tariff increase appears less about economics and more about reclaiming control of the narrative. It's not just a policy adjustment, it's a performance, one designed to show strength to his base while sending a message to America's northern neighbor. Don't test U.S. resolve. But beyond the theatrics lies a harsh economic truth. The U.S. and Canada are deeply interdependent, with over $800 billion in annual trade. Many American industries, from automobile manufacturing to agriculture, rely heavily on Canadian imports and materials. A sudden tariff increase could disrupt supply chains, inflate prices, and hurt the very workers Trump claims to protect. Moreover, most Canadian goods already enter the U.S. under USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, provisions, meaning the new tariffs could violate existing trade commitments. If Canada retaliates, as it has in the past, both economies could find themselves sliding toward another costly trade confrontation. Politics over pragmatism. At its core, this episode underscores how political optics are now driving trade policy. Instead of focusing on cooperative solutions, Trump appears to be weaponizing economic tools for short-term political gain. His message is clear: loyalty to America first outweighs the logic of shared prosperity. But this approach carries risks. By turning allies into adversaries and policies into power plays, Trump risks undermining the stability of North America's integrated economy, one that has taken decades to build. A warning for the future. This tariff escalation is more than a temporary diplomatic flare-up. It highlights how fragile global trade relationships have become in an era dominated by populist politics and media provocation. When a single televised ad can trigger economic penalties, it signals a dangerous shift, where ego replaces economics and public sentiment shapes fiscal strategy. Trump's move may win him applause at rallies, but it risks isolating the U.S. from its closest allies. The world is watching, and once again, it's learning that in Trump's America, trade policy isn't just about goods and markets. It's about power, pride, and political theater.